So my name is David. I'm a sophomore here, and thanks for coming here, and thanks for all the people who went before. You guys are so funny. And thanks for what else can I thank you for? Coming. Thanks for coming. Okay, yeah. Thanks. So I'm David. So my name is David. Actually, that's a lie. I was gonna lie down and then be like, I'm a lie. Okay, anyways, that's a lie because my name's not really David. My name's actually Tia. It's Tia, T-I-A. Like Tia and Tamara. No, really, actually. It's my profile picture, a couple profile pictures, you should check it out. The point is, so my name is Tia. The reason my name is Tia is because my parents wanted to name me like my Chinese name because they're good Chinese parents. So they wrote on my birth certificate, Zhou Jiaen, and Zhou is Z-H-O-U, in Chinese it's Zhou. You knew that. I was so impressed. Thank you for reading so cool. I feel so recognized. Yeah, no, it's okay. Sorry, no. Z-H-O-U, right? So Z-H-O-U. So Zhou, and then Jia, and then so it's J-I-A, and then N, so E-N. And so then the problem was on the hook of the J got caught in the dark line of destiny when they were writing the birth certificate. So the doctors thought it was Tia, so then I became Tia after that. And I've forever been Tia. And now it's become a huge part of my identity as an accident. So then when every time in elementary school, you know how they call the attendants, and they're like, oh, that blah, 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 this person, they always mess up the names. And the substitute one time was like, oh, Tia, Zhao, and she looked really, really confused, like really confused, like severely confused. And then I wrote her, I'm like, oh, here. And then she's like, oh yeah, no, I saw your first name Tia, and I was looking for like a black girl, and then I saw your last name, and yeah, so that was one situation that came up. Yeah, and so also, so right now this is me. I'm Tia and David, both. You can call me David Tia. Whoa, or DTZ, David Tia Zhao, DTZ. That's the nickname that I had before in high school. I'm just gonna learn so much about me. So, and what else about me that you know? So right now I'm standing in front of you, and I'm wearing Crocs. I think Crocs are Crocs. Crocs. Yes. Yeah. Crocs are great because it's like the first shoe that says, "No need to respect me today." And you know, it's not necessary really. I'm also wearing sweatpants. Some people might think I don't take myself too seriously because I wear sweatpants. Do you want to hear something? Can I say something? Okay. So, I'm not hearing it. So you guys know the Devil Wears Prada, right? Yes, it's such a good movie. So then like the scene where she's holding the two belts, and she's like, I don't know, they're just so different. And Anne Hathaway's like, and then Meryl Streep's like, is something funny? And then she's like, oh, I don't know. They just look exactly the same to me. You know, I'm new to this stuff. This stuff? Oh, I see. You get up and you go to your closet and you take out, I don't know, that lumpy blue sweater because you want to send a message to the world that you take yourself too seriously to care what you put on your back. But what you don't know is that sweater is not blue, it's not lapis, it's actually Carillion. And who was it? In 2004, Oscar de la Hoya, who did a collection of military jackets, Carillion military jackets. In 2006, Saint Laurent did a collection of military scarves. And then Carillion quickly trickled down into the sets of 8 other designers, and undoubtedly ended up in a sad little clearance bin where you undoubtedly fished it out. And it's almost comical how that Carillion represents millions of jobs and thousands, no. There are thousands of jobs and millions of dollars, and it's almost comical how you think that you made a decision that exempts you from the fashion industry, when in fact you made a decision that you're wearing something that was chosen by the people standing in this room from a pile of stuff. Yeah, no, you should watch the movie if you haven't seen it. I'm just planning on doing that. I just really love it. Yeah, thank you. So where was I going with all that? So I have my sweatpants, so like I don't take myself too seriously. You know, I don't try not to tell the world I take myself too seriously. People might think that I'm like kind of a loser because I wear sweatpants, but I actually think people wear slacks or slackers. So, get it? Because slacks and slackers. Yeah. No, it's true. And then one time I was walking past David Thompson, you know the guy who works in admissions, and he was wearing a nice like cardigan thing, like it was like very nicely like tied around his waist, and it was blue, not Carillion, just blue. And he was walking by me, And I was walking by him, and I was like, oh, that's a nice shirt. Like, you look really nice here, David. And he's like, oh, you too, David. And I was like, yeah, nice pants, David. Like, hey, nice pants, I really like that. And he looked at me, and he's like, yeah, nice pants too. And I was wearing his pants. I thought it was really funny because I didn't really think they were nice pants. But he said nice pants anyways. And it was really funny. I told a bunch of my friends later that day. Yeah, so I like you. Another funny thing that happened. So, like, a lot of these things about my physical appearance, it's very important. Very not that important. Don't neglect it. One time, I also wear these sweaters because it's very convenient and it's like dark. So like in case I have to wipe my nose on my sleeve, you can't really tell that much. Or my nose bleeds, can't really tell that much. You don't want to be able to tell. So one time I was here at Swarthmore and the person who lives across from the hall from me was like telling me, he's like, oh David, you have a cool kid smile, a cool kid smile. And I said, Hung, like, what do you mean? Like, a cookie smile? Oh, that's such a unique metaphor. Oh, thanks. Like, that's so, like, unique and different, and I really like that. Thank you so much. No, a cool kid smile. Oh, a cool kid smile? Oh, that's really nice. Thanks, Pong. Oh, right, I appreciate it. No, a cool kid smile. A crooked smile? Oh, okay, I guess that's kind of cool. Yeah, a cool kid smile. It's like you're hiding the evil underneath. That was kind of weird. It was nice to get those different metaphors. Like people say the same thing over around the same way, and it's nice to get it like mixed up a little bit. But like all this talk about the outside, it's not really what's important. It's what's on the inside that's important. In fact, in 10th grade, I had a colonoscopy. So that's me, that's my name, that's my outside, that's my inside. It was all okay, mostly. And so what happened, so I don't like to do that much sports, I'm not that athletic. I don't know if you can tell, but I wear these athletic pants, and that's about as far as it goes. And when I was little, I did swimming. And like my dad signed me up for swimming, and I went to the first swim meet that I ever went to, and I was standing there on the deck to like dive in, and all the other kids were wearing the Speedos, like they were super serious about it. I was wearing soccer pants, and it's not just like the swim trunks, the drag pants that had like the pockets with the nets. It was like soccer pants, like with pockets that catch water in them. And that's not good for going fast. And my younger brother did swimming too, a little after me, and he would jump in. And my parents are kind of like were a little strict when we were growing up. They would only let us play video games for half an hour on Fridays, like Nintendo 64, Mario Kart. Yeah. No, not Mario Kart. No, sorry. Mario 64.
Woo.
Yeah. What is he doing? But Mario 64. So what was I saying? So my brother would be like swimming, and then my brother would like, and my dad was like, if you swim, my brother would hate swimming. He's like, if you swim, you can play like an extra half hour of video games and stuff. So my brother would jump in the pool and swimming. You know how swimming when they have lane ropes, right? And then he would like stop and like cling onto the lane rope and yell for my dad, like, Dad, in the middle of a race. And my dad would come over to the side of the pool and he's like, what? He's like, I want an extra half hour. And I'm like, keep going. And then he's like, no. And then he would swim a little bit more and then stop again. I think he was like breathing too, saying, I want an extra half hour. I want more. He would like cry and he wouldn't finish the race. It was kind of sad. But so that was swimming, and I continued to do swimming. And then I also did football later on. And the thing about football is me and my younger brother did it again. He's a year and a half younger than me, so I was kind of bigger than him at that age. And they wanted me to be on the A team because I was bigger, not because I was better. And they wanted him to be on the B team because he was smaller, not because he was worse. But because my mom didn't want to drive to two places on Saturdays, it makes sense. You don't want to send your kids to different games if you can do one. And I just remember that I was big, so they put me on the offensive line. And I was on the offensive line, and I would push people away. That was my job. And I was like bigger than the other kids, so it was pretty easy. But but the problem was, like, they really wanted me to be a wide receiver. Because like, if I could catch the ball, I could like run and truck all the kids, and they would have no problems, and it would be great. But so every day before practice, they would like, the coaches, I still remember this, the coaches were so nice. They'd get the footballs, and they would throw it at me, and I would just be like, that's not me catching it. And I just could never catch the ball. And it was really sad. Like, they really believed in me. They really wanted me to, they really wanted me to be the wide receiver. I could have done a great job, but I could never catch the ball. Don't feel bad for me. Don't feel bad for me. It's just a reality. Yeah, so I guess sports didn't really work out for me that much. But then I did try doing, I was a waiter for a while actually. And there were some mentions of stories about waiters. And I couldn't be a waiter until I was 18 because at the store I was at, I'm probably really shiny. I served alcohol. They served alcohol. So I had to serve alcohol to people. So I had to wait till I was 18 to be a waiter. Don't you say no comedy, no. That's kind of exciting. So I was 18 and I was a waiter. I like you. So I was a waiter and I was 18 and we had to like check people's IDs because otherwise we would get sued. You know, like it's a problem. Like alcohol license, the restaurants they really need to keep their hands on that because people drink a lot. And our restaurant's policy was you have to check a person's ID no matter how old they looked or no matter how young they looked. So literally I would have to go to these 80-year-olds. And they would be like, yes, can I have a blue moon, please? And I was like, oh, do you mind if I see your ID, sir? And it was just like, really awkward, because like, he's clearly over 21. And the worst part was when they're like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. And then one time the person was like, I don't have my ID, it's in the car. And I was just like, or it wasn't in the car, it was somewhere else. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And they would look at you. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. And I would be so sad. And I would be like, it's not my fault. I'm so sorry. And I would like spaz out and say I'm so sorry a lot of times and try to make it better. And one time I had a lady who like, I asked for her ID and she was like, what? And I was like, I'm sorry, it's like, restaurant policy, I have to check. And she slid it, she gave it to me. And I just looked at it, I quickly gave it back to her. She's like, what was the date? And I was like, she's like, what was the point of checking if you weren't going to look at the date? And I was just, it was bad. Not all of this is funny, some of this is just really sad. Yeah, so that happened, and then I finally actually quit the restaurant job because I had a breakdown. So what happened was like, I had some tables, because I'm a waiter, right? That's what you have, you have tables. We were actually servers, because we were like, above the gender curve, which is really fun. So I was a server. Yeah, I was a server, and I had some tables, and they weren't getting their food. Like they weren't getting their food, and I felt really bad. So I kept going back to the tables. Like, I'm so sorry. The kitchen's backed up. I'm so sorry. Just like this. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And my other waiter friends, server friends, were all in the back, just hiding from their tables because they didn't want to look at their tables while their tables weren't getting their food. So I was just apologizing like profusely, and some of the tables left after 45 minutes of not getting the food. It's terrible. And then I went back to my big table group, and there was like a softball team, and the girls had like ordered hamburgers, and they're like, what's like what kind of do you want a hamburger? And they're like, yeah, I want a hamburger. I was like, how do you want it cooked? And they're like, I don't know, like what does this mean? And they all got rare, and then they came out and it was pink, and then they were upset, and I had to go back and remake that. It was like really not as problematic. And then I ended up coming back. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I started like crying, like I was standing there like trying to make the bills. I just started crying, and it was like, this is just a hot mess. And then I took all the receipts, and I went back to the table, and I was like, this group, because there's a bunch of families. I was like, this group had this, this burger, and this group had that. But like not like, actually starting crying, I was like still crying. And they were like freaked out. They're like, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with the waiter? Holy cow. And then they were trying to help me. They were just grabbing all their receipts and handing me money, stuffing it in my pocket. Like, take it all. That was good. But then after that, I quit because I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. Yeah. So I guess my last thing I'll share with you guys is about my dad. My dad is great. My dad is very much like me. He's very weird a little bit. He likes to wear rocks in his shoes, like little rocks, because he thinks it like massages his brain. He's like, oh, the brain electricity. I feel the brain electricity. I feel so much younger. Oh yeah. Like when I step, the rocks in my shoes. He'll say it like that to like, the rocks in my shoes, and he'll like take time because he won't wear socks because he needs to feel the full impact of the rocks. So he'll like dump his rocks into like a bucket of water and wash the rocks. And that's always fun. He's like washing the rocks and scratching his feet. And so sometimes, one time I was at a debate tournament and my dad was a judge. He was volunteering because he's a good dad. And he, one of the kids was like, oh, like was that your dad, the Chinese man who's kind of short? I was like, yeah, maybe. He's like, he was limping. I was like, oh no, my dad doesn't have a limp. And then I see my dad come out of this cast robe. He's like walking like this, like because he has the rocks in his shoes. And I was like, oh, I see what you're saying. He goes, okay. The last thing I'll just say to you guys, what is the strongest letter in the alphabet?
I don't know.
You don't know? P, because nobody can hold it.